Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. We had a wonderful Sabbath. We're now doing the nighttime devotion from the devotional Christ Triumphant. The title today is Learning to Lead Through Serving. The scripture reading comes from 1 Kings 19 verse 16. Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abelmeholah, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. We would do well to consider the case of Elisha when he was chosen for his work. Elisha was of a family who had kept the ancient true faith of Israel. He did not live in the thickly populated cities. His father was a tiller of the soil, a farmer. Even during the captivity, there were souls who had not degenerated and gone into apostasy, and this family was included in the 7,000 who had not bowed the knee to Baal. Elijah was about to close his earthly labours. Another was to be chosen to carry forward the work to be done for that time. In his course of travel, Elijah was directed northward. Now everything seems to be springing up as if to redeem the time of famine and dearth. The plenteous rains had done more for the earth than for the hearts of humanity. It was better prepared for labour than were the hearts of apostate Israel. Wherever Elijah looked, the land he saw was owned by one man, a man who had not bowed the knee to Baal, whose heart had remained undivided in the service of God. The owner of this land was Shaphat. Busy activity was seen among the husbandry. While the flocks were enjoying the green pastures, the busy lands of his servants were sowing the seed for a harvest. The attention of Elijah was attracted to Elisha, the son of Shaphat. Far from city and court dissipation, Elisha had received his education. He had been trained in habits of simplicity, of obedience to his parents and to God. But though of a meek and quiet spirit, Elisha had no changeable character. Integrity and fidelity and the love and fear of God were his. He had the characteristics of a ruler, but with it all was the meekness of one who would serve. His mind had been exercised to be faithful in the little things, to be faithful in whatever he should do, so that if God should call him to act more directly for him, he would be prepared to hear his voice. His surroundings at home were those of wealth, but he realized that in order to obtain an all-round education, he must be a constant worker in any line of work that needed to be done. He would not consent to be in any respect less informed than his father's servants. He would learn how to serve first, that he might know how to lead and instruct and command. While doing all that he possibly could do with his God-entrusted capabilities in cooperating with his father in the home firm, he was doing God's service. Learning to lead through serving. So this is now focusing on Elisha instead of Elijah. So Elijah passes on the mantle to Elisha, which I'm sure we'll hear about. But this is where God has chosen Elisha because of his upbringing, his learning, his characteristics, all of which were from a very meek household, a farmer who had lots of land, and he was very disciplined to keep the commandments of God, the way of life that God wanted them to live, instead of getting lost in the cities and the societal customs. So Elisha was chosen by God to and be anointed by Elijah. So this is also leading up to the time when Elijah will be translated. It doesn't happen yet, but it leads up to it. So he has to pass on the mantle, his position, you could say, onto Elisha. And so Elisha was carefully hand chosen by God because of his characteristics, his meekness, and he's willing to serve. He's willing to start by serving before he can lead. And that's where you start. You start at the bottom, so you know when others are working there and you're leading, you know where they are, you know how they feel, you know what the job and the work is like. It's always the best place to start, at the bottom. Enjoy your night. God bless you.